Episode 14 of the Bodybuilding Chef. This week we got our carb cycling. Today is Tuesday, leg day. That means I get about 400 grams of carbs rather than 650 or whatever I got yesterday. I put it in the description yesterday and I'll try to do that one today as well. My breakfast and dinners are the same each day, but I just like to show the routine. So, cup and a half of egg whites. Save the remaining half cup for the oats, just to add a little texture to them. Oil the pan, wipe off the oil, and I like the way I uploaded the video yesterday. Unfortunately, the music that I thought I used, I thought it was free use, but unfortunately it was copyrighted music. So I'll try to find some new audio just to cover up the little clips of training. I took some inspiration from the Ronnie Coleman Relentless videos. I love old Ronnie Coleman movie videos of him training. He only showed parts of his cooking and not so much talking, so it was just really cut and straightforward. It did show him eating, and I'm not exactly comfortable with watching people watching me eat. I think it's just kind of weird. I don't know, I feel like whenever I watch some people eat, they do it weird, and then I just don't want to watch them, and I certainly don't like the sound of people chewing. But we got 80 grams of oats, cup and a half of egg whites for the omelet, half cup over here, 28 grams of fat-free cheddar. We do onion, tomato, all the seasonings with like French Dijon mustard and whatnot. So I'm going to get this stuff cooking up. In case you guys didn't know, 80 grams of oats, put about 400 grams of water in it, or 400 milliliters, right about 14 ounces. They're all different ways of measuring the same thing. Microwave it for 5 minutes. I already started cooking my rice for the day so it can cool down before I put it in the salads. And those will be up next. But 5 minutes for the oats. I'll add the egg whites, put 3 minutes. And I'll catch up with you guys in a moment once I got some stuff on the omelet and it's looking pretty. All right, oats just finished their 5 minutes. I'm gonna put that half cup of egg whites in there. Whisk it in. And then I got all my toppings ready to go for my omelet. So 3 minutes for the egg whites and the oats. Left this covered. Learned from yesterday when there's an air bubble, you can't really put your toppings on evenly. So we got our onion. It's half an onion. I'm going to put some of it on here and the rest is for lunch. Meals 2, 3, and 4. Lots of onions, big onion guy. Okay. And we got our chicken. 4.5 ounces cooked weight. Meats lose about 25% of their mass from cooking. Whenever you cook them, they just lose that water. Playing a dangerous game here. The other day I was taking was cooking steak, and I got meat probes for the first time. And the meat probe said like 53 degrees. So that was like the internal temperature of the meat. And I needed to move the steak because it was getting hot too fast. My stupid ass was like 53 degrees. Man, that temperature probe is cold. And I tried to move the steak by grabbing the temperature probe. Fucking burned myself. I feel like I've noticed I always got scratches and cuts on my hands, like those old people with bruises. Looks so bad. All right, so we got our 1/4 cup of tomato as well. I'm gonna wait to put that on. I think I've decided to put that on later with the Dijon mustard. So I'm gonna cover this, let it steam the cheese. And the last things I'll do, I'll put on my 67 grams of tomato, season it with dill weed, garlic powder, black pepper, and I'll salt to taste. I put very little salt in my food. There's enough salt in everything already. And then I'll top it with stone ground Dijon mustard, and I'll be good to go. Catch you up whenever that's done. All right, breakfast's almost done. We're gonna do the big fold on the omelet. I left the heat on 5 for too long. Oh, yeah, it turned out pretty good. Not bad. Most of the contents stayed inside the omelet. If you get the contents inside the omelet too soon or soon enough, the egg will actually like hold everything. If you get it kind of late, the egg won't hold anything. So you have to be really careful whenever you plate it or you'll spill its guts everywhere. Or if you're not on a diet or your diet's set up for it, you can put more cheese. That works too. Just gonna let that just toast up over here. Oats are done. We're gonna put some water in it. This dog literally just sits in the walkway at all times. All right, water into the oats. We're gonna put Splenda, cocoa powder, and espresso powder. 2 teaspoons of espresso powder, 14 grams of cocoa powder, and I just put a ton of Splenda in there. It's sweetened to taste, but I've said before, it doesn't taste as sweet as regular sugar. Maybe I'm just used to it or something. All right, 15 or 14 grams of cocoa powder. Put a metric ton of Splenda in here. It's almost breakfast time. All right, so I'll whisk this up, get everything plated, and that's breakfast. It's a 800 calorie breakfast, 100 grams of protein, 60 grams of carbs, and I believe this is my highest fat meal. It's about 13 grams of fat or slightly less, and most of those fats are just from the oats and the cocoa powder. But just gonna whisk this in, fluff them up, get that air in there, help them cool down the oats so I can eat them sooner, not burn myself. And that's breakfast. And the final plating, we got egg white omelet, chocolate oats, Diet Coke with no caffeine in it. I try to drink very minimal caffeine now. I found I've had a much better energy throughout the day not drinking caffeine and just prioritizing sleep. It's been a big deal. I maybe consume at most 100 milligrams of caffeine on training days, and that's it. I've gone to upwards of 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day, and I honestly feel way better now than I have in a very long time. Sleep, rest, water, good food. Take care of your body. It's your temple, and you take care of it. It'll take care of you, whether it's for bodybuilding or just life in general. I, for one, want to be a great bodybuilder, so starts with one meal. That's breakfast. First day, first step, get your first meal in, and then get your day rolling and keep it on a high note from there. All right, so this one's gonna take a bit more detail, but we gotta make a salad, and then we gotta make our regular rice and chicken bowls. So I'm gonna get the components of the salad working, and then I'll catch up once I've gotten everything sort of Tupperwared up. But we got 50 grams of rice in each bowl, the first meal 1 and 2. And then we're going to put romaine lettuce, fresh bell pepper, and poblano in the other bowl. Then what's left of the bell pepper and poblano, I'll put here in the pan to soften up a little bit. So I'm going to take a handful of the onion, save that for my salad. The other part of the onion is going right to the pan on medium heat, and we're going to get that to soften up a little bit. Since I'm going for this Asian stir fry type thing, I want to make sure that I get the right texture in. It's definitely the poblano peppers. My detective work has paid off. It is for sure the poblanos that are giving me that spice reaction to the food. It's not spice like spicy mouth, but after I cook, there's definitely some like spice on my fingers, even after I wash my hands like 2 or 3 times before I leave. And it gets in my my skin. It's the worst. Worst feeling ever. These meals are technically the same or slightly less calories. Or I think these are the same calories as last week. But the problem with them is they're so fast digesting because it's just like carbs. I'm even eating more fiber this week than I am last week, but because of all these carbs, I feel like my stomach is just empty. But I'm going to get these poblanos chopped up and in the pan. I'm going to put that little tin foil cover on them like I like to do. And then I'll get these salad prepared a little bit further along. And whenever I get the ingredients together in my my salsa dressing type thing, then I'll share that. So I'll catch up with you when this is caught up a bit more. All right, so we're gonna make the salad dressing really quick. 61 grams of black beans. Trying to find like a quick way to throw this together for the video. And I'll set that aside while I put the black beans on the other thing, so I don't have to just keep washing this. $61 on the money. Another 61 over here. And I just opened a new can. Oh, okay. Just open a new can and let it drain. So now we got more black beans. Okay. Black beans done. The veggies have already been softened, so no worries there. That's completed. Next, we're going to put 62 grams of corn on everything. Didn't turn that stove off. The one tough thing about those electric stoves, you don't always notice when they're on, because the heating element isn't always like red when it's on. It kind of just like turns on and off. I put some romaine lettuce in these chicken and rice bowls. I'll probably just put spinach in them next week, but I have the romaine lettuce, so I might as well use it. And it's just to add some volume. Since I have slightly less carbs, I have half the rice in it today than I had yesterday. And yesterday my stomach was pretty empty after eating. I'm definitely going to need the volume just to sustain me. If my stomach feels really empty, it's like mentally just a wash. It's really hard to like, if I'm working out and I got an empty stomach before I even start, I'm like, shit, man, I feel really hungry, and it kind of occupies my mind. At some point, I'm probably just gonna have to get over it, but you know, whatever. We put Rotel tomato in here. Put another 67 grams or a quarter cup. A little less than that, but that's okay. Just by a gram, actually. So that's good. Then we got to throw 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of the light sour cream. It's only 35 calories. And then we're going to throw some spices on here. It's going to be cumin, garlic powder, cilantro powder, and black pepper. It's nothing too extreme. Just that chipotle Mexican flavor. And a little smoked paprika as well. All right, so I'm gonna mix this up, get it on there, and I'm gonna chop up the chicken, put it on there as well. And that's pretty much the extent of these meal preps for lunch. All right, and last thing to add, so we got 2 chicken barbecue bowls, and then we got our chicken and salad bowl. This is peach pie filling I have with my pre-workout meal, just for some extra gas in the tank. It's like 100 grams of carbs. All the macros are in the description of the video also. But I just use the Lucky Leaf peach pie filling. I like peach pie filling. And it has real sugar in it, which I prefer when I can have real sugar to have real sugar. So I'm going to put the lids on these and get my butt to work. Y'all have a great day. And I'll catch up with you after the workout when I'm cooking French toast for dinner. always use the same recipe every time. It's 1 cup of egg whites, and then you dredge the bread in it with the cardamom and vanilla extract, and then you put it in a pan, sprinkle the cinnamon on. I added the Splenda late. I actually usually add it in the egg wash. And then you know they're ready to flip whenever you can slide them around in the nonstick pan.